What is up, everybody? My name is Wes. This is Top Shelfers, and we just got done beating Alone in the Dark. This game. Um, yeah, let's talk about it. I am blown away. I don't understand why journalists destroy this game. Because it's fucking okay. All right, let me get into this. So, if this is your first time watching one of my reviews, I rate games on 10, sometimes 11 different categories. That being graphics and visuals, gameplay mechanics, story and narrative, audio and sound design, replay value, difficulty and balance, world design and exploration, performance and technical stability, community and multiplayer, innovation and originality, and hours versus dollars. Alone in the Dark is fucking trash. And I don't say that lightly. And I don't understand the hype, right? I love horror games. I play a lot of them. First off, I'm sure that they're saying that this is like inspired by Resident Evil, because the gameplay is almost identical to it, and the style of game where you're running around rooms and you're running back and forth and you're doing this and doing this and doing that and doing this. It it pretty much copies their formula to a T and does it completely worse. It is so this game was so unfun to play. And it felt like what it was is they had like a 4-hour game and then they just jam packed all this bullshit to make you spend more time playing the game. Right? I beat it. I beat the this guy's version 8.5 hours. Okay. I looked up and read all the shit. Playing the second person doesn't change anything. It's not any different, right? I just don't get it. I really don't. There was points in this game where it was almost awesome. And then it wasn't. It just wasn't. Like it was uninspiring. There was no like the world felt empty. It felt like it was just me, and I get it. That's kind of the point. You're going crazy, yada yada yada. I don't care. The story was all over the place. It wasn't that complicated, or we're hiding messages here and there. They tried to, but it was pretty in your face what it was all about. And it just wasn't good. Excuse me. So let's get into the ratings. And even though I don't enjoy the game, I'm still gonna rate based off of how the experience was. So graphics and visuals, the game isn't the prettiest game on the market, but it doesn't look awful. It's not a ugly game. There are some monsters that look pretty cool. There's definitely some scenes that look really cool. The pyramid stuff, the weird churny thing, I don't know what they called it, near the end was pretty cool looking. Some of the swamp scenes were cool. Like it looked decent, right? I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Gameplay mechanics. How smooth and intuitive the controls are, the complexity and depth of gameplay systems, and their overall enjoyment of playing the game. I just didn't have any fun with it. The puzzles were uncomplicated to the point where it just felt like I was wasting time. Like there was a point where we were finding Jeremy's brain scans, and you had to turn the electricity back on, and it was literally just one break, like one whatchamacallit on the ground, and then the other one was just in the other room, and you plug them in, and then it's that game where like you click one and then two go down, and then you click one and one goes up. That was it. Like all the puzzles are like third grade level. No effort. No. I never would like. There was one that I was stumped on that I looked up, and it was just like it was just because it was really not a well made puzzle. There's lots of text and reading, which they did a good job there, but it really wasn't fun to play. And I don't know, like you maybe fight 20 monsters in the game, and one mini boss, I guess, and then the final boss. And the final boss was dumb bullshit, anyways. So I'm gonna give the gameplay mechanics a 5. Story and narrative. The quality of the storyline, character development, dialogue, and how engaging and immersive the overall narrative experience is. Like I said, it was just right on the cusp of being something worthwhile. Like, there was cool points, like the twists and turns. I was like, oh fuck, wait, he's actually crazy. Okay, like, what's going on here? There's a cult. Okay, but it just felt like a hodgepodge of like 8 different things going on, and none of it really like matters. Some of it ties together. Like, there's pyramid and conspiracy and ancient history mixed with lobotomies and craziness and people going insane. Like, I just don't care. It was so much. It was just so much in such a little time that I don't feel like there was any like why did I even play? Like, there was nothing there. I was like, oh, okay, we got a conclusion. I mean, kinda, I guess. I mean, everybody, fucking, I don't know. I'm gonna, I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 5. Audio and sound design, the quality of the sound effects, music, and voice acting, and how well they contribute to the atmosphere and overall gaming experience. It had great ambiance in the swamp scenes. The voice acting was decent. I liked all the people who were reading the journal entries and text lines and stuff. The guns sounded good. There was a big lack of music really in the game, or at least anything like worthwhile. I'm gonna give it 6.5. Replay value, the extent to which the game encourages replayability through multiple endings, side quests, new game plus, multiplayer modes. Yes, I mean, you can play as both characters. Like I said, I looked through it. There's definitely differences, but not enough for me to go through this boring of a game again. I would probably watch someone else do it and watch it on as fast as possible and slow it down when there is something different. It's just, I don't know. There's New Game Plus. There's collectibles all through the game. If that's your thing, cool. I wouldn't ever. I don't think I'll ever pick up this game again. So I'm still going to give it good points because there is reason to go back if you enjoy it. Difficulty and balance. How well the game is balanced in terms of challenge, difficulty, progression, and fairness, catering to both casual and hardcore players. I always start my games on hard. I couldn't. It was so embarrassingly unfun to play on hard that I switched it almost immediately. And it's not even the fact that it's difficult just in the sense of like a hard game. It just doesn't feel fun. It doesn't feel fair. You get one shot by stuff. You don't have enough resources. I get it. That's what Resident Evil does. I've played Resident Evil and beat Resident Evil on as hard the difficulty as possible, right? At least it's fun and enjoyable. This one, I didn't feel like I was playing badly. I felt like it was poorly designed. So I'm gonna give it a 4. If your thing is super hard games, maybe this is you and you want to burn through the hard mode, be my guest. I don't think it's fun in a challenging way. World design and exploration, the richness and detail of the game world, the diversity of environments, and the sense of discovery and exploration offered to the player. I try to look at everything. I will give them a big plus here that every area you go to except the main building is so vastly different. Like, you're exploring different areas of Louisiana. All of that stuff was super cool. You spend the majority of the time in the building, right? And it's very boring, and you're very just running through the same hallways over and over and over again. It literally, the game is about going crazy in some aspects. I felt like I was going crazy in playing that fucking game. But when they did change up the environment, it was such a stark difference, and it was really cool there. I do like that there was attention to detail in some aspects and then laziness in some aspects. This will probably be their highest score, and I'm going to give it an 8. Performance and technical stability, how well the game runs technically, including factors such as frame rate, loading time, optimization across different platforms, and the absence of bugs and glitches. I played this game on PC. I have a very good PC that shouldn't have any issues with a game like this. I just got done beating Claire Up Scare on ultra graphics. It ran perfectly fine, no issues. This game does not run well. I don't know if settings need to be changed, but I had frame rate issues. I had lag all the time. The loading times were, I felt like, not great for being in 2025. I don't know if maybe this game was just ported over and it's not ported well, but it was noticeable enough that while I streamed it, I mentioned it several times that this game doesn't run really well. 3.5. Community multiplayer, not applicable. There's no multiplayer mode. Innovation and originality, the extent to which the game introduces fresh ideas, innovative gameplay mechanics, or unique twists on existing genres, contributing to its overall creativity and distinctness. I made the joke twice on stream, and I was like, this feels like the meme when you were a kid and you're driving around and you're like, Mom, I want McDonald's. And she's all like, no, we got food at home. And then you go home and the food at home sucks. It feels like I was begging to play Resident Evil, and they're like, no, you got Resident Evil at home, and I show up, and it's this. It's like, it's not even the store brand Resident Evil. It is like the bottom shelf, no pun intended, bottom shelf, like, only like 6 people buy it type game. I don't think it's innovative in any way. The story was original for sure. They did their own thing there. I was super hyped up getting into it because I like noir style. The Louisiana theme seemed really cool. I was all in on it. And it just fell short. It really did. So, story-wise, it was definitely original story. Gameplay, nothing new. Nothing new. So, we'll meet it at a 6. And here's a big one. Hours versus dollars. So, like I said, I beat this game in 8.5 hours, 8.5 hours. It is a $40 game. Now listen, I understand developers need to make money. I am not someone who will shy away from the raising prices of games because everything is raising. People's salaries raise, markets raise, all that type of stuff. I get it. Do I like it? No, of course not. No one does. No one wants to spend more on the entertainment they love. $40 for this game is a sham. Absolutely crazy. I would say $19.99 at best would be what I would pay for this. Because you're talking, if I were to run through this game on that other mode with playing Emily, right? And I beat it faster because it's not going to take me 8.5 hours to get through it a second time. Maybe 4. We're at 12 hours and I've beaten both modes all the way through. I mean, I feel like even if you do collectibles, you're maybe at 16 hours at most for $40. I'm mad that I spent the money on this game. Giving it a 1. No, I'll give it a 2.5. Don't spend your money on it. Wait until it's free or on sale. That simple. It really is. So let's break out our handy dandy calculator here. Shout out Blue's Clues. And see where we are at. Six, 2.5. A 5.5 out of 10 is exactly how I'm feeling for this game. I just, I wanted to spend some time. Hold on. Well, we'll spend some time for this video. I just want to read some of these reviews and just see, like, really what people are talking about. What does this person say? I'm just going to read this. Shout out to this person. I don't understand why journalists destroy this game. As someone who enjoys both the Shutter Island film and the original novel, I was pleasantly surprised at how much this Alone in the Dark reminded me of the kind of atmospheric storytelling. Shutter Island is 100 times better than anything this came up with. I was pleasantly surprised at how much... Okay. The game blends psychological mystery with classic horror in a way that immediately invokes Resident Evil, especially the first one, and Silent Hill, most closely Silent Hill for the Room. The atmosphere and visual design are genuinely impressive. Disagree. Many of the rooms and interiors are so beautifully crafted that I often found myself stopping just to look around. The acting is excellent. Cutscenes are engaging. Sometimes even humorous and the characters feel alive. I felt everyone was dead. Combat perfectly fine. It's not groundbreaking, but it's far from bad. I really don't get the hate. Same goes for the camera. Yes, a few awkward moments on staircases. The camera angles suck through the whole game, but nothing game breaking. And I say this as someone who hates clunky mechanics. Obviously not. I didn't feel frustrated once during my playthrough. You must not have done the boss fight. The last boss fight. I finished the game in about 3 days and was completely absorbed. The horror elements work, the tension, the unseen, the creepy undertones. It's a great detective-style adventure with clear Lovecraftian influences. Sure, it has Lovecraftian influences, but in all the worst ways. I grabbed it on sale for $15. Okay, there's the point of why he put it on positive. And honestly, it's a real steal at that price. Totally worth it. I really don't get the negativity from the reviewers and so-called critics. Maybe it's time for them to take a break and deal with their gaming burnout. It's not gaming burnout. The game sucks. That said, the one real issue the game has is stuttering, yeah, big time. Performance hiccups, slow burn, mystery, horror, and solid. That's the thing is like there was times where I was like, man, maybe my opinion's changing in this game. And then it just goes back to being dog shit. I'm surprised there's a good game. Okay, exactly. It's unfortunate because there's a good game lurking under the stuttering, incoherent, poorly plotted mess that is this new Alone in the Dark game. I couldn't put it better myself. That there's bones there of a good game and they just don't execute. All right, I'm not going to spend too much more time reading this.